Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
The Emek Refined Studios in Jerusalem, Israel, our nation's capital. It's Louis Live! And your host, me, and Yossi G.
I knew that was coming.
You knew it was only a matter of time.
I knew it was coming.
I appreciate the reminder, of course. This is Louis Live. We are here from 5 to 7 p.m. IST, Israel Standard Time. And we have a lot to talk about. We're mostly going to talk about the Super Bowl that happened last night here in Israel. It was 1 in the morning. Probably you had a luckier time watching if you were in the States. But it was a great game. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of legacies that occurred. Eli Manning wins again. You know, Yossi G, outside of his 2 Super Bowl victories, Eli Manning, do you know how many wins he has in the playoffs?
Not that many.
0. He's won 0. So the problem is he has not done this fluke thing. He's done this fluke thing twice. So that's the problem we have, is that he can't do it outside of those 2 seasons. But he's done it twice, so I have a hard-pressed time calling what Eli Manning did a fluke. But nevertheless, he's a Super Bowl champion again. He beats Tom Brady again. He beats Bill Belichick again. A lot of questions to answer. Let's start first with the Pats. Do you think the Pats have a GOAT on the team? We know Wes Welker should have caught that ball on the next to final drive. Tom Brady shouldn't have taking that safety in the first play for New England, and Tom Brady shouldn't have thrown that interception, though it turned out to be more of a punt. But do you see a GOAT for the New England Patriots?
It's the team as a whole because, yeah, you mentioned those specific plays over there with regards to the interception, with regards to the safety, with regards to the drop passes. But it wasn't just Wes Welker who dropped the pass. You also had, on the final drive itself, you had with regards to other wide receivers who had balls, it was in their hands, in their palms of their hands, and it just went right through their wickets, in addition to the fumble recovery that they had in the first half, which was negated by a 12-man on-the-field penalty. So that's overall, it's a team effort in the loss.
There weren't a lot of turnovers. There was the interception by Tom Terrific, a couple of fumbles by the Giants. They recovered. The Giants didn't turn over the ball. But some dumb penalties. Both sides did the too many men on the field penalty, which you're not used to seeing from 2 caliber teams in the Super Bowl. And
detail-oriented teams.
The 2 timeouts that were burned by the Giants turns out not to haunt them. However, had woulda, coulda, shoulda Wes Welker caught that ball, the Patriots most likely would have ran out that clock, and the Giants wouldn't have been able to stop them because they had no timeouts.
Well, talking about timeouts, and a lot of people are harping on the fact that you had Belichick calling for a replay on the Mario Manningham reception.
And he was right there, and he saw that Mario was in.
He had to call that. He had to throw out the red flag for that call, for that play, because it just, if you don't, you're kind of you're saying, all right, here's the white flag, or waving the white flag, that's it, it's over, it's done with, forget it, it's finished, they won. And he had to call the review booth, because otherwise that's what the kind of aura that he would be giving off. He has to still, even if in his mind he knows 100% that it was perfectly fine, he had the reception, he had both feet in and whatnot, he has to call that, he has to throw that flag out, he has to throw that and allow for the replay booth to go ahead and review it, just to show his team that he still has confidence in them, that perhaps that didn't actually happen.
Let me ask you this. Eli Manning named the MVP. I thought that was the correct decision because of that fourth quarter drive to give the Giants the lead. Do you think there were other players deserving? Justin Tuck has a good argument, for example. Who do you think were other candidates for the MVP of the Super Bowl 46?
Well, the thing with the MVP and how it's always judged is with regards to numbers. And when you want to go with numbers, then yes, they got the right player. They got Eli Manning. He definitely had the numbers for it. But if you actually go with what an MVP stands for, Jason Pierre-Paul. He may have not had the numbers, but he was in Brady's face. He was disrupting plays in the backfield just on a play-in, play-out basis. He was there. He was causing havoc, wrecking havoc for the New England Patriots. So you want to give an MVP, that's really who you should give it to.
That weird play for the Giants, which will be shown many times, Ahmad Bradshaw accidentally scores the touchdown. One of the few times you could say that in Super Bowl history, if ever. He thought about kneeling on the 1 so the Giants could run out the clock. It could have been a mistake because he gave Tom Brady a minute. But on that final drive for the Pats, 2 dropped balls. That one by Aaron Hernandez, just brutal. That was right in his hands and should have caught the ball there.
You say with regards to Bradshaw that he went into the end zone accidentally. He was told by Eli Manning as Eli is handing off the ball to him, he says, don't score, don't score, don't score. But it only registered in his mind when he actually got to the 1-yard line. Now, technically, the referees should have called him down because as soon as the player in the NFL has the option to go down without being touched, he has the option to say, I'm down.
He just raised his hand, his knee didn't go down.
If he puts his hand down on the field as like to tap out, kind of what you see in mixed martial arts and things like that, as soon as you quote-unquote tap out, you're down. But the referees didn't call him down. So technically, he was already down at the 1-yard line, but nonetheless, the drop pass by Aaron Hernandez, I don't see that one as being the biggest. Yes, of course, it was in his hands and he should have had it. But it wasn't so much him as it was the play beforehand on first down that was dropped.
Okay, so you thought the first down drop was worse than Aaron Hernandez drop.
On second down, yes.
More because of the momentum, more because had he caught that ball.
And there's also a 24-yard pass versus a 9-yard pass. If you drop a pass 9 yards is one thing, but you drop a pass coming at you from 24 yards, a much bigger chunk of yardage, chunk of change to deal with when you get a lot more yardage there as your potential to go forward with.
Where is Tom Brady's legacy right now? He has 3 Super Bowl wins. That's one short of Montana at this point. Only one more than Eli Manning. He's lost 2 Super Bowls. He's played in 5 total, 5 of the closest in Super Bowl history. He's won 3 by 3 points apiece, lost 1 by 3, and lost this one by 4. Where is Tom's legacy? Keep in mind he's 35 years old. He'll have another crack at winning his 4th Super Bowl.
It's higher than John Elway's.
Okay, so
John Elway went to 5 as well, but he lost 3 and won 2. So there you have it. No, I don't think anybody has won 3 in 4 years. Name me another quarterback.
Troy Aikman has. Troy Aikman has won 3 or 4 years.
Okay, but he also has 11 concussions. I mean, he can't talk.
But I'm
properly.
saying, is Brady now Troy Aikman instead of Joe Montana? He was on the
No,
verge.
Brady is Brady. That's why his last name is spelled Brady. It's not spelled Montana. It's not spelled Elway. It's not spelled Aikman. It's Brady. Brady is Brady, and that's it. He's not in the same class as Bradshaw. He's not in the same class as Montana. If you want to put him there, you're going to have to argue with all the caveats that go with it. He's one of the best. He's not the best. That's just how it is.
That brilliant argument plus $2 will get you on the subway. But I'll tell you like this. Now, of course, he is not those guys. But had he got the victory, it would have been
Montana. Woulda, shoulda, but didn't. So we're not even going to go into that.
And his legacy is...
Because there's no point for it.
So where is his legacy? He's better than Elway, not as good as Montana.
Correct.
Okay, so
he is arguably the best quarterback of our generation. Arguably, since the turn of the millennium, he's arguably the best quarterback. If you want to go all the way back towards the Bart Starr era... Over there, when it's the Super Bowl era, as people like to call it, he is one of the best. Certainly not in the upper echelon.
Eli Manning right now is 30 years old, correct?
Yeah.
And Tom Brady's 35. Eli Manning conceivably could win another Super Bowl within the next 5 years. He's won 2 in the last 4. Eli Manning could go down as the greatest when it's all said and done.
No, because Eli Manning will have to have Tom Coughlin as his coach and will have to play against the Patriots. If he doesn't do that, he's not going to win.
Well, again, this is what I talked about, the whole fluke thing. He's done this fluke thing twice. He's won 8 playoff games, but in 2 years, and outside of that, has not won a playoff game. Tom Coughlin, speaking of him, may retire after all this. He's the oldest coach of the league.
Should retire.
And he could go out
like Ray Bork did in the NHL. He won a Stanley Cup after all those years. So here, Tom Coughlin, you retire on top.
It's hard to believe that Tom Coughlin 2 months ago was about to be fired.
That's actually not so hard to believe.
Because
if you've ever been in the New York media and you've been around New York and see what's going on, it's very, very conceivable to believe that.
Are you here to, on behalf of New Yorkers, admit that they're stupid?
No, New Yorkers want to win today. They want to win yesterday. And at that point in time, they were 7-7, and everybody was chomping at the bit saying, what the heck kind of coach is this?
But had they fired him, they wouldn't have their second Super Bowl in 4 years.
Here's the thing. Mara and Tisch families, the way they've ran the Giants since day one, has for the most part, has been we will allow things to kind of fix itself. We're not going to change things in the middle of the season unless it's completely necessary, like without a shot of a doubt. Here, even after they lost to the Redskins in Week 15, they're 7-7. There's still a chance for them to make the playoffs. All they had to do was win the last 2 games, and that's exactly what they did.
Now, Coughlin, against the second race of head coach, ties his mentor, Bill Parcells, and Coughlin won 2 as an assistant with the Giants. He was an assistant at the same time as Bill Belichick. Where does Belichick go from? Obviously, he's going back with the Pats. His legacy a little different now. Where do you put Belichick as all time. Belichick was going to go down probably his greatest coach ever. He would have tied Chuck Noll with most Super Bowl victories with 4.
Bill Belichick is the greatest coach ever, bar none, period, end of story. Close the book, chapter, seal the novel, it's over. You want to go on Super Bowl title, Super Bowl wins? What's he got, like 7, 8? How many does he have?
If you count as an assistant.
Yeah, I'm counting everything. He is the greatest coach ever. E-V-E-R, exclamation point.
The greatest coach ever, though.
Ever.
Can't beat Tom Coughlin.
Ever.
So how could the greatest ever can't beat Tom Coughlin?
At the end of the day, the game is played by players. It's not played by coaches. 90% of the game is mental. 10% of the game is actually doing, is actually on the field, actions. There are sometimes things happen. Yeah, there's the flukes. There's the safety. How many people called for a safety? Forget the first play of the game, but in the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, Vegas is screwed because you had the Giants winning the Super Bowl and you had a safety in the game. For all the fans who call a safety, you probably have, a half dozen people in the United States who say, okay, yeah, there'll be a safety in the game. Why not? The odds are 50-1. Okay, give me $100 on a safety.
What were the odds of the Giants win the Super Bowl when they were 7-7?
It was 120-1.
120-1. Okay. Wow. And someone probably laid down a bet, one of those rich New Yorkers.
Forget the rich New Yorkers. You have these people who you think you're a numbers guy. You ain't got nothing on these New Yorkers.
No, I know.
That's for sure.
I met some New Yorkers.
Yeah, so some of these guys put money down before the season started, and then they re-upped during the season. When they lost to Dallas in the middle of the year, when they lost to the Redskins in Week 15, that's when there was Christmas trees going on in their minds. Like, oh my gosh, that's it. We got to re-up again. And they stayed through it. And they are rewarded now.
Well, I'll tell you, I had my pick of the game going to overtime. There's never been an overtime game.
That got screwed with, shot in the leg with that safety.
That safety really screwed things up. But there was still a chance somewhere in the third, and then it got kind of fuzzy math, they like to say.
Sorry, when it gets to 17-15.
17-15, then I was pretty much all out.
Then if you start betting that in Vegas, and if that would have happened, man, I don't think you would be sitting here right now. You'd be on your way to Pago, as our good friend Stan Fischler would like to call.
Absolutely.
What we like to know as Tahiti.
Yes. Okay. I don't know what that means. But anyway, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to discuss which teams are now picked to, or not repeat, to win the Super Bowl. You'll be surprised when we talk about this list. That's after this commercial break. You're listening to Louis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East. IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1, Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com. Back here on Louis Live again, breaking down the Super Bowl, all the fun stuff that happened last night. And I got to tell you, before we get into the list of who is predicted to win the Super Bowl 47, I feel so bad for Mr. Kraft. I mean, the fairy tale storybook ending would have been Myra Kraft. They win the Super Bowl. Everyone had the MHK for the Patriots on their sleeves. And it just, I'm just, you should have seen my look. I was so surprised that they didn't win. I mean, the fairy tale would have been for obviously for Myra Kraft to win. For Myra Kraft that they win it.
Well, you thought for a moment right there that Myra was having her hand in that whole Hail Mary. Should have been, had Gronkowski come through with that dive off the deflection, you would have to rename that Hail Mary to Hail Myra, because that is exactly what it seemed as if Brady gets away from the various pass rushers, goes off to the right, throws the football 50 yards in the air, 55 yards in the air. I mean, he's got the arm for it. And now, of course, all the Patriots fans would have hoped and wished that he had the arm for it a couple plays earlier when he threw the interception, because he underthrew Gronkowski down the field. But nonetheless, here he has the arm for it. He throws it into the end zone. Aaron Hernandez goes up, almost kind of like a basketball play where he tried passing it, like tipping it up in the air to pass it to Gronkowski, but he didn't hit it up high enough. Two other Giants defensive backs on him, defending him. Gronkowski could not get the deflection. In the air, bounces to the ground, and that's all she wrote. Eli Manning, Super Bowl MVP winner, number 46.
I know we don't like to woulda, coulda, shoulda, but had Gronkowski not been injured, they would have won that game.
Without a doubt. But you heard what Eli Manning said before. You heard what Tom Brady said before the game when he was interviewed during the week. He said, so he was asked, so how do you prepare for such a game? How do you have all these plays which involve both Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, and now Gronk is hobbled. How do you prepare for something like that? And he said, when you go into a game, you have obviously your different options and the various play calls and designs and your game plan. But then things happen during the game. So what happens if Gronkowski was perfectly healthy and, Ben
Wes
Jarvis,
Welker.
Wes Welker goes down, or I'll throw in Ben Jarvis Green Ellis goes down on the, one of the first plays from scrimmage. So you constantly are reevaluating your game plan, and he said it's not something that really should affect us too much, but obviously, as much of a politician as he likes to be, that is exactly what happened. It did affect him very much, and with all due respect, Pete Shepard, East Coast Andy, Gronkowski was not being paid to wear a boot.
That's for sure. Now, one of the things I was thinking of real quick about Tom Brady, how he looked less than Tom Terrific against the Giants in both the Super Bowls against the G-Men, reminds me of a box analogy of the great boxer known as Jack Dempsey. He lost twice to a boxer named Gene Tunney, who wasn't one of the greatest boxers ever. You would say maybe top 100, I don't know, but certainly not top 10 heavyweight. But Tunney had his number, and it feels like the Giants' defense has Brady's number.
Well, the way with Brady, it's always been the same way throughout his career. You get to him, you disrupt his rhythm and his rhyme, and that's it. It really takes a toll on him. You looked at what happened in the championship game. Looked at how the Baltimore defense got up in his face. The team that really set that MO for how to stop Tom Brady was the Giants in 2007, 2008. When they played them in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, it was that front four for the Giants. It got in Brady's face in his lanes without having to blitz. And it allowed for the linebackers to stay back, allowed for the defensive backs to stay on their men without having to go in as if throw in an extra person and leave man-to-man. Play in, play out. You were able to get pressure with just your front four. And that has always been the constant lack that Tom Brady has had throughout his career, where he has not gone over that hump where he could take a hit, get up, and not be disruptive. Very, very few people could do that. I'm not saying that it's just something that you do. It's a mental thing, and very few people are able to do that. One of those people, one of those players, one of those quarterbacks who are able to do that on a constant basis just happens to be playing on the other sideline.
So perhaps the argument about Eli's, wherever his status is that he's able to handle pressure, physical pressure, a little bit better.
Yeah, he is a look at what happened the last game he played before this against San Francisco. He got sacked 6 times in the game. He got hit 21 times overall between hit, hurried, harassed, harangued, sacked, everything. And it got to a point in the second half where it seemed like every time he dropped back to pass, no matter what the end play result was going to be, you were going to find Eli on the ground picking himself up or possibly peeling himself off the ground and to get back up. And you had that perfect photo of Eli, kind of his helmet's like all like messed up and his chin strap is up in his face.
Right.
And he's like, all right, I got this, But that's the type of quarterback you see with Eli Manning when it comes to playing in the big moment, getting whacked by a defensive player who just wants to kill him, versus Tom Brady in the last 2 Super Bowls where he is thinking about his career at this point of his post-career. And he's just the type of quarterback who gets rattled.
Soft? You think he's getting soft?
I don't think he's getting soft per se.
You're saying he's thinking about his post-career, like what, movies or politics, and he wants his face intact?
Pretty boy. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. But all jokes aside, all kidding aside, there are not many quarterbacks who could take a hit, get up, and make as if that hit never happened. And that is what the Giants' defensive front four did to Tom Brady and have done to Tom Brady in the last 2 Super Bowls.
All right, now the brothers, who's better?
Well, Marvin or Wayne or
Sean?
Sean?
Smart guy. Eli Payton. Eli wins in Payton's house. Eli didn't seem to think it was that big a deal as winning Payton's house. He's at a Super Bowl. Doesn't matter where it's being played. I don't really buy that, but I think it's a big deal that he won in Payton's house.
Okay.
Little brother wins in a big brother's house. Little brother is better in the postseason. Big brother better in the regular season.
Right. That's my answer. So what's the question?
Well, let's go a little bit deeper on it because Eli, before people start saying Eli's better, Eli is 4 MVPs short of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's the only player.
Like we said, if you have it's a tale of 2 different leagues. I don't want to say leagues. Tale of two different seasons. Regular season, postseason, 2 different ball games. One is a marathon, one's a sprint. And Peyton Manning has endurance. Eli Manning can get it done right here, right now. And that really is the difference. If you are talking MVP, and you say MVP includes the postseason, guess how many MVPs Peyton Manning has? Probably 1. And that's it.
Yeah, Super Bowl 41, he was the MVP of the game.
That's it. Because that's the one where he went to the Super Bowl and won it. And that's the only season that he probably would have an MVP if you count the postseason, if you incorporate the postseason into the regular season. Here, I would actually say, if you count the regular season into the postseason, this year, I would argue that Eli should be the MVP of the league because of all the times this year that he brought his team back at the end of the ball games. Now, it wasn't always him, but I would argue to say that about 80% of the time, it was him who was leading the charge.
Well, he broke a record this year with, I think, 6 fourth-quarter comebacks.
6 fourth-quarter comebacks and 15 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. Second highest quarterback rating in the fourth quarter to the one Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Now,
and that's not counting the postseason.
Okay, something I want to bring up also. So the Giants in the last 4 years won 2 Super Bowls. In the regular season, the first time around 10-6, this time around 9-7, 19 wins. And the Patriots beating the Giants 4 years ago. They would have had 19 if you got the postseason. I mean, this is 2 average regular seasons, just above average.
And like
Literally.
I said, it's 2 different seasons. It's a sprint versus a marathon. And that's just how it is. The Giants, it's all about getting hot at the right time. And this year proved it more so than 2007.
Well, for example, last season they had 10 wins, but didn't get in the playoffs.
It's just how the playoff formats work. You better make sure that you're beating the teams in your division and those key head-to-head matchups. You have to make sure you are the victor of those. Otherwise, what ends up happening is it turns out to be like the Giants of last year, where they missed the playoffs with a 10-6 record, because usually the 10-win record is kind of the benchmark for near guaranteed to the postseason. 11 wins for sure you're guaranteed, unless you're the Patriots or of a couple of Patriots or the Dolphins of a couple years ago.
Right. Again, and I was thinking about this last night with Peyton being injured. You know, people are knocking Peyton this, Peyton that, but without Peyton, the Colts 2 wins, and without Brady, they still had 11 wins.
Right.
With Matt Castle. So something to think it over. All right, when we come back, we're going to...
Well, I think that's just more of the team and how the team has done it. The Colts just invest that much in Peyton and have had everything evolve around Manning versus having everything evolve around the coaching staff. Look at what it was. You want to make that argument? Okay, fine. We will continue this argument after the show, after these commercial breaks, but you will see that the argument in itself is not an argument. It's just a tale of 2 cities, how the philosophy of the teams run with their quarterbacks.
All right, we'll take a break. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 Suspension and Bodyweight Training System. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 Suspension and Bodyweight Training System. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
I wonder, do I have tears of rain?
You're only supposed to sing with no, only from South Bend you can
Madonna performed the halftime show. I actually thought she did a really good job.
sing. She did a really good job, but then she was stood up by MIA.
Yeah, MIA, who went AWO, or went insane, loco.
No, she went AWOL.
Yeah,
kind of
AWOL.
with her hands.
And before we get to the Maya, actually let's get to the Maya thing. What's her name, Maya? Who's this girl? Who's this kid?
MIA, that's her nickname.
Okay, who is she?
She's a, punk star, rocker, barely pop star, rapper, hip-hop artist wannabe.
I don't like this version. I'm going to play a different one. We will talk over the song because I told Yossi G I was hoping that she would sing this song.
She chose my song to sing that I wanted. The only one that I like from her. Music, yeah, and as opposed to your song. See, that's right here. She can't refuse.
Folks, Madonna,
she cannot refuse me.
Madonna,
but sweet Daddy Lou, she wants no part of you.
Madonna is a very in the early '90s was a very, very filthy lady. I don't know
what
if you
has
noticed.
changed?
And
what has changed exactly?
Well, what I'm saying is that she had mostly these sexual songs. I still argue that not living on a prayer. What's that? The church song? Down on my knees, I want to take you there. The midnight hour, just like a prayer, I still will argue that song is very dirty. And you kind of figure out what it is. Down on your knees, you can figure that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she had all these dirty songs in the early '90s. She went nuts. She had made this book called Sex, and it was intense. And you don't really think of it as a family fun program. It's somehow she gets the Super Bowl gig.
Well, that was the whole thing with the big wigs that were putting this whole thing together with the sponsorship deals and all of them. Yeah, they were figuring and saying, "Hey, look, we'll get Madonna, and we're going to make this a family-oriented thing." That's why that kind of provoked MIA to give the middle finger to everybody, because usually that's not supposed to be a middle finger. That's supposed to be fingers in the shape of a gun, and she couldn't do that, so she just flipped everybody off. But for the most part, that was what they were trying to get at. They're trying to get a family-themed, family-oriented type of a Super Bowl show, halftime show, where they could have everybody sit down and watch. And guess what? You would think that after the big flub of 2004 with Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction, that the 7-second delay would have been put to use and properly with MIA's and her middle finger. But turns out, guess what? It doesn't matter how long of a delay it is. It might have to be a 24-hour delay until they realize what happened.
Well, because you said you saw something.
I saw something when it happened. I was like, I wasn't sure because there's supposed to be that delay. I'm like, I don't know. Is that it looked like a finger, but I wasn't 100% sure what was going on.
So there was that whole thing. But up and before MIA flipped people off, wait, let me go back for a second. The whole thing about her being dirty and then invited to do the halftime show, they do this with people in Hollywood or life or whatever it is. It seems like if they are old enough, they kind of go to this place of esteem, like dignified or legendary or awe-inspired or whatever. And then
Mick Jagger, Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
They're dignified. Madonna, no.
Well, but why did she get invited to do the Super Bowl show?
Because the corporate sponsorship people were using this as a stage, as a platform for which then Madonna can go ahead and announce to the world the next day, which she did today, that she is going to be kickstarting a world tour. Drum up interest for that, and then boom, there it is. Yes, and you know where the first place that she's going to be performing is?
New York City?
Ramat Gan Stadium in May of 2012.
That's
Booyah.
her first one?
First place to kick off the world tour here in the Holy Land of Israel.
Well, it always comes back to Israel. Do we refer to her as the Kabbalist? Her name is Esther, right?
As Esther.
Esther?
Here in Israel, she will be Esther. The third time that she'll be performing here in Israel.
Yeah. So, I actually thought she did a good job. I mean, I was making some jokes when she was doing those high kicks that she had to take a bit of a breather. But looks like she's in pretty good shape, was able to sing all that songs. I thought it might have been lip sunk, but I don't know. What do you think?
It looked like part of it was lip singing because it's just, I find it, if it wasn't lip singing, then props to her for being a performer, because when you are doing some of those types of theatrics and the moves and the things and going up and down stairs and whatnot, it's only natural for there to be a little bit of a breathe, trying to catch your breath, but it didn't seem that. And especially when you're singing, it's a double taxation on your heart, on your pulmonary system, with your body for the blood to go through, the oxygen and whatnot. And before I go into a whole biology, chemistry type class with regards to breaking down the entire pulmonary system of the human body, it would seem normal for Madonna to have tried to catch her breath while she's singing and running up and down these stairs and dancing and all that, and she was not. I did not hear any form of exasperation in her voice, which led me to kind of concede and concur with what you were saying in that it was perhaps lip-sung, or at least portions of it.
Yeah, I imagine portions were. But, I sang a song the other night. Yossi G is right. It does take a lot out of you.
Definitely. And you sing a lot, and you attempt at singing a lot.
But I sing loud and intense.
Well, that's what it works well and perfectly for when you do the South Bend Central theme song. South Bend, Indiana.
Right, whenever they win.
For your when they lose, especially.
Win.
What is this three-letter word you speak of?
Yeah, people don't know about that. So she sang 4 songs. Didn't sing Radio Light. She sang Like a Prayer, music,
Vogue.
Some song we've never heard of,
and Vogue,
which is probably her most famous
yes.
song.
That's usually how it works. Just looked at last year what happened with the Black Eyed Peas. They came out. They sung 4 songs as well. First one, Boom Bang, that set the tempo. And if you thought last year's Black Eyed Peas concert shenanigans were over the top, yeah. When Madonna comes out with a whole ensemble of slave girls and guys carrying her and on like this big, huge, ginormous cushioned chair and harkens back to like Cleopatra, the movie, when the various houses that came together to produce that almost went bankrupt because it was so expensive to get all those extras in there with those costumes and all of that. Yeah, this year very much definitely then went ahead and topped the line, topped the list when it comes to over extravagance.
Okay, now I'm going to read to you the halftime shows in Super Bowl history since we have had a Super Bowl. So, first one, and some of these will be very surprising to you, okay, because Arizona gets mentioned once or twice here. First one, the performers, U of A and Grambling State University marching bands, the University of Michigan marching band, Al Hirt, and the Arcata High School drill team.
Come on, that would probably was awesome.
And I think
couple
the Arcata
marching bands, are you kidding me? That's fantastic. It's like battle of the bands right there for everybody to see.
And I think that Arcadia was from the high school in Phoenix. I'm not sure about that, but apparently it looks so. So Arizona, not a big city then, in 67.
Arizona's a state.
There you go.
Ari Louis.
All right. Next year,
a state.
They bring Grambling State University back again. That's the halftime show. That's so cute. The year
they
after,
were so good. They were awesome.
They brought it back for
They're
again.
unbefreaking-leavable.
Yeah. Then Florida A&M University. So college is here at the beginning. The performers after that, Super Bowl 4, it gets a little bit higher. Carol Channing, who was known back then, and then again at college, Southern University Marching Band. For Super Bowl 5, Southeast Missouri State Marching Band. So you can see it's still not going. Then it gets a little bit, takes a jump here in Super Bowl 6.
Ella Fitzgerald,
Carol Channing, they brought again, so they like to repeat. Al Hirt again, and then USMC Drill Team.
What does USMC stand for?
I don't know.
United States Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
Hoo-wah.
Hoo-wah! All right, then Super Bowl 7, University of Michigan Marching Band, again, Woody Herman and Andy Williams. Okay, they kind of went down there with all due respect to Woody and Andy. Then Super Bowl 8, yes, I am going through all of these. Deal with it.
Wake me up.
University of Texas Marching Band and Judy Mallett, who she was the Miss Texas in 73.
All right, we got the point. It wasn't so mainstream personalities, with the exception of Ella Fitzgerald, perhaps, in the beginning until it was the mid-'80s.
Okay, so then let's go to the 90s now. We'll fast forward here. Performers, New Kids on the Block, who were big back then, Disney characters, Warren Moon. Don't understand how that happened. 2,000 local children.
That was the only way he was making it to the Super Bowl, was to stick him in during a halftime show.
That's good stuff right there. Yeah, sorry, one time. Great stuff there. Okay, then next year, 1992, Gloria Estefan, who was pretty famous then.
Gloria Estefan, yeah.
And Olympic figure skaters Brian Boitano, famous from the South Park movie, and Dorothy Hamill.
Both very famous figure skaters. They were probably skating around the center of the field.
Now, arguably, the biggest performance in Super Bowl history came in Super Bowl, looks like 27, Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson performed back in Rose Bowl. That was the way it was played the Rose Bowl when Troy Aikman won his first Super Bowl 27 against the Buffalo Bills. The year after that, okay, not so famous.
All right, fine. So what's your point?
Well,
What is your point, Lewis, with all of this?
the point of these halftime shows? Madonna's a huge name. Madonna,
This
Michael
is
Jackson.
her first halftime show because until last year, with the exception of Michael Jackson, there was no pop singers. And even when Michael Jackson came
you had
and
Stevie
did the
Wonder with you.
halftime show, he's not considered pop. Stevie Wonder's not pop. Stevie Wonder's jazz. And even Michael Jackson was not technically considered pop in the music genre, even though he's called the king of pop, which doesn't make sense to me why he would be considered punk rock.
Now, we're
or
getting a chat
rock.
in about when I said Michael Jackson and Madonna the most famous ever. Someone brought up, hey, have you ever heard of this some guy named Paul McCartney? Okay.
I hated that halftime show in 2004, 2005. Absolutely hated it. I had to wait up till 4 a.m. to watch the start of that show. And then at 5:45, watch bloody old Paul McCartney get up there and sing away. No, you have the whole Beatles, fine. Paul McCartney, no. I wanted, I don't know, Aerosmith. If you want to go oldies but goodies, fine. Guns N' Roses, I don't care. Not Paul McCartney. I had to suffer through that with no commercials even, okay? No American commercials in Australia, no. They did not show them.
Okay, I'm going to play Hey Jude just to punish you. Because I tell you, I like that performance actually did. It was, I'll tell you why. It was the year after the wardrobe malfunction. You needed something kind of classy. And Pierre Paul came in and did it right. He sang 4 songs, and Hey Jude, everyone put their lighters on and waved their hands. And the song is a cool song. It's about Julian, John Lennon's son, who felt that his father was ignoring him at the time, and he said, like, hey, Jude, don't worry about it type of thing. So I like that song a lot. So we'll play that.
So you're getting all kind of gummy on me.
Yeah, I have my emotional side.
Never happened.
No Doubt was in a halftime show, huh?
Well, No Doubt's a rock band.
Steve.
They're a punk rock band. They're not pop. That's the difference. And that was an awesome halftime show.
There's only a couple of performers that can do a halftime show with just one name. If you look at a lot of these halftime shows as collaborations, like P. Diddy and Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson and Shania Twain and No Doubt and Stain all together.
I actually remember when you had Kid Rock came up there and did his thing. His drummer is a female. She's black. She's fantastic. Like, I'm watching her go ahead and drum, and it's like, oh my gosh, forget Kid Rock. Forget the rest of the show. I just want to watch you drum the rest for the entire 12 minutes.
Well, I agree with forgetting Kid Rock. He sucks. 1 second. Hold on. I agree with forgetting Kid Rock. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so you see the halftime show.
Do I still have to play Hey Jude?
You really don't like this song?
No, it just whatever.
All right. Okay, let's shut it off. Hold on 1 second. Wait,
maybe I'll
tell. A sad song and make it better.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna have the Beatles go after you and sue you for copyright.
Hey,
yeah.
Just remember, all press is good press. So
you mean there's no such thing as bad press, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the opposite. Like the golden rule is don't do unto others as you would have not done unto yourself, and people interpret it as do unto others as you want done unto you. But that's not what it is. It's two negatives.
All right, okay, Yoda. Sure.
I'm just quoting. I don't know who said the golden rule. Oh, Rabbi Kiva Wright was asked, "Teach me the Torah on 1 foot."
No, this was Hillel.
Okay, Hillel.
Wait,
all right.
No, maybe. Yes, Hillel.
Hillel. Okay, and he said that.
Yes.
Yeah, the rest is all commentary. Go and study.
Yeah.
All right, so these halftime shows here. Now so there's only a couple of halftime people that can do it by themselves. Madonna's one of them. But then she had those guys.
She wasn't one of them. Are you kidding me? You have MIA. You had that other chick. I forget what her name is. Kylie Minogue, and you have CeeLo Green.
Wait, Kylie Minogue was there?
Minaj, not Minogue.
Wait,
Minaj.
Not the one who sings "Can't Get You Out of My Head."
That's Minogue. Kylie
Okay.
Minogue, and she's Australian. Kylie Minaj is not Australian. And Kylie Minaj did that whole rap, unless you were sleeping through it, which is very likely that
Well, yeah, because I went to the bathroom to take a quick little nap. That's
why we didn't know exactly what was going on.
And then, so at some point, these guys come.
Yes, those two guys. But no, here's the thing: you had Kylie Minaj, you had MIA flipping off the crowd, then you had CeeLo Green kind of in his whole church giddy up. And it was almost to the point I was like, okay, what's going to happen next? You're going to pull out from the Pepsi commercial, you're going to pull out Elton John and put him into the Super Bowl halftime show as well? Like, that's where it got to over the point. You want to get all cheesy and all, mushy with family-orientated TV, minus, of course, the middle finger. That's what it almost felt like. You're going to get Elton John there as well. Like, what the heck was going on?
It's like when Madonna's walking, so she sees the sexy guys, and she sees these other guys. It's like she's just walking through, like, oh, there's musicians here. It's like she's in this neighborhood. She can't make her way through, and she keeps bumping all these famous people.
Yeah.
I actually like that a lot. That was pretty cool. I didn't realize, okay, we're done with this video. If you watch this video and you know what part the video's at, you know why, I'm going to move on.
This is when they're at the beach in Tel Aviv. Or is this in Venice Beach?
Right, and then they made the parody of that little guy.
Do you know who that is?
Who is that?
That's it'll come to me in a minute. It'll come to me. Keep going.
So that parody, there was a parody of these guys doing it in Tel Aviv.
Yes, and that was actually quite hilarious. It was all in Hebrew.
Right, what is the name of that group again?
I don't know, and I don't care.
I fell down and hurt my underwear.
No, that's actually the name. I don't know and I don't care.
Oh. All right.
I'm so funny.
Mike's the one who showed us that. I'll have to go find it at some point. But so, where do you rank this halftime show, OCG?
What?
Where do you rank
That's
this?
exactly where I rank it.
So, I'll tell you one thing that it goes to the game. Bill Belichick.
By the way, that guy that I was telling you, that was Ron Jeremy. In the Sexy and You Know It music video.
Oh, that was really him?
That was really him.
A fellow Yid. Someone tells me he fasts on Yom Kippur. God, I hope so. Anyway, who am I to judge?
He doesn't
I'm
eat
gonna
fish.
judge him. He looks like a fish, yeah.
He doesn't eat fish on Yom Kippur.
Oh, I got that.
Delayed reaction right there.
That's a sick joke.
That is quite disgusting.
Yeah.
SCG, what are you thinking?
Let's see here. So Ron Jeremy's in that video, and then so the halftime show is 30 minutes. Of course, the
halftime show itself is 12 to 13 minutes. You get four songs usually. If you have two short ones, you get in 5. The halftime break for the players is 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Generally, it's 12 to 15.
Correct.
So Bill Belichick in practice Super Week simulated. They played and rested for 30 minutes,
and that actually it
first drive scored touchdown the first drive.
Its dividends right away. They scored 96-yard drive at the end of the first half, and they come right after the beginning of the third quarter. They come out 4.5 minutes. It took them to score on a 79-yard drive. Boom, bang, there you go. You're up by a lot. You regain the lead. It's now 17-9, and you think, hey, we're in cruise control, except that was the last time that they would have scored for the night. If you would have told me that then, I would have said go back to sleep.
Exactly. If you would have told me, and because when I made that, my prediction for the game was 23-20, and when they went up 17-9, I was like, oh, it looks like we'll have a little bit high scoring game, unless they could stall and kick a couple field goals. But I thought at least they were getting to the 20s.
Well, one team got to the 20s.
Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. In the two games, the two Super Bowls against the Giants, the Patriots scored...
Only managed 17 points.
Right, but 17 and 14.
14, yeah.
So 31 points total for two Super Bowls.
That's what the Patriots average on a regular bad week in the regular season. But it's just what proves my point that the regular season and postseason are two different seasons.
You think they should alter the postseason?
How so?
Well,
BCS? Oh, hell no. We know what happened when that.
I'm just trying to say, something feels off about the fact that a team that was average in the regular season won a Super Bowl twice.
Well, look at what happened to all the teams that they played in the regular season. None of them finished better than 8-8.
The Patriots are talking about.
Yeah. So that's exactly the point. It's a whole different ballgame. Once it gets to the postseason, you are kind of separating the good from the bad, the men from the boys. And then you're going up against playing people who are of the same caliber, minus, of course, the Denver Broncos, that as you. And then that's the type of scoring that you're going to have. That's the type of games that you're going to go up against and that you are going to put yourself into. Tough, hard, difficult, and it may the better team win.
Okay, but Pete Shepard told us here on Israel Sports Radio a few weeks ago, the reason why the Patriots played 500 teams is because they beat them and made them 500.
Well, guess what? This week they did not beat them, and they did not make them a 500 team. The last two games against the Baltimore Ravens, they did beat a team which they should not have beaten, because you have to give kudos to where kudos is given, and that is Lee Evans allowing for himself to have the ball punched out from the rookie defensive back on the Patriots in the end zone, and then, of course, with the field goal miss. So they really beat themselves, the Baltimore Ravens did, and the Patriots really didn't win. And then suddenly you have this game with the Giants are not making those mistakes, and boom, bang, there you go. That's all she wrote, 21-17. Giants are the victorious winners of Super Bowl number 46.
You know, people could say what they want about Eli Manning and his greatest, blah, blah, blah. If the two teams switched quarterbacks, I think the Giants would have crushed the Patriots. That defense was rattling Eli Manning, and I don't think it would have been the same thing. You saw the Patriots defense.
Definitely, I would figure. Well, here's the thing. It all starts from the defensive front, and the Giants had a better defensive line versus offensive line to the Patriots than it was the other way around. Because even when the Patriots did get through, it's okay, fine, you get through, and the ball's already 5-10 yards down the field.
The Patriots, keep in mind, were next to last in defense. Now, giving up points, they were middle of the pack.
Right. They were between the 20s. They were awful.
But if Justin Tuck was rushing at Eli Manning's face and Pierre Paul, don't you think it would have been a different game?
I don't think so, because
Brady eats up everybody except the Giants.
Okay, so what do you propose? A trade for Brady?
Well,
to guarantee yourself 2-3 more Super Bowls in a row?
No, I just try to say Eli Manning is not all that a bag of chips.
Well, it's what he does. He inspires his team. Maybe he inspires his team better than Tom Brady does.
They did to be very much team-oriented. All their talk after the Super Bowl was, we love each other. We love the game of football. This is for each other. We play for each other. They were all pretty humble. Give them credit for that. And maybe that's their secret to their success was their total teamwork. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to break down the quote-unquote experts' picks to win Super Bowl 47. Yes, they come out already. The game is not even 24 hours old. You'll be surprised about some of the favorites and who are not some of the favorites. I'll just leave it at that. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 Suspension and Bodyweight Training System. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, we're not going to go through the quote-unquote experts' projected 2012 predictions. They have standings, records, and everything you can think of. This is from NFL Power Rankings. This is from the Bleacher Report. If you have any complaints, email them. Now,
No, I'll take the email and I'll explain to you why it is what it is.
Okay, let's just
and
say
if you don't like it
right away, according to this, they don't have the Giants making the playoffs. Not the Super Bowl. They don't have them making the playoffs.
Playoffs? What are you talking about? Playoffs?
Okay, but that's not supposed to happen. Usually the team that
Why?
loses the Super Bowl doesn't make the playoffs.
Well, the New England Patriots didn't make it on their second year. They won in 2002. They didn't make the playoffs 2003.
Okay, it happens.
Granted.
But why are they thinking going to happen this year? The Giants just can't get respect.
Well, that's because Aretha Franklin is not in their backcourt. But the thing is, here with the Giants also, you have a team that just went on a hot streak. They went on a hot run. They were 7-7, very mediocre team, and then they got the right personnel back, got the right players back in, people got healthy at the right time, and boom, that's it. Here you go.
I'll tell you like this.
They went on a run. They got hot.
The Giants are
They
not
got white hot, but they got hot.
The Giants are not going to make the playoffs this year. Tom Coughlin should retire.
I said last night, as soon as that ball bounced in the end zone and Gronkowski did not come up with it, Tom Coughlin tomorrow should announce his retirement. Actually, not tomorrow. He's got to go down the victory parade. Next week, Tom Coughlin should announce his retirement.
I agree with that. Now let's go through the standings here. The AFC has had the New England Patriots going 12-4. This season they went 12-4.
Yeah.
So they have them
13-3.
Excuse me, 13-3. They have them losing one less game, winning one less game, but being first place in the East. Okay, and this is really, really good stuff here. They have Buffalo second place, and your Jets, JTS Jets 7-9, missing the postseason.
Okay.
They have Buffalo making the postseason, not your Jets. How do you feel about that?
Okay, I'm down with that.
All right, AFC North.
Look at what the Jets are. They are a wreck of a franchise. The only thing that they did was Schottenheimer's not there anymore, and you got Tony Sperano in there. But how good is the actual locker room? I mean, you're talking about a team that whose head coach supposedly did not know what was going on in his own locker room. I mean, how much longer will it take for the Jets' ineptitude? How much more of that until Mark Sanchez follows Shoddy out the door and Rex Ryan follows suit as well?
That is a little weird. I'll give you that.
I mean, look, LT's not coming back next year. Plaxico Burress probably not going to re-up with the Jets. What type of a team are you going to come out with come opening weekend?
So no sexy Rexy guarantees, you don't think?
It gets to a point where you have bombastic to plain downright stupid. And if Rex Ryan...
I think it's a combination of A and B.
And if Rex Ryan goes ahead and makes a prediction publicly, I mean, every head coach wants to win the Super Bowl. I mean, that's the whole reason why they coach. That's the reason why players play the game. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be, at least. And if he goes ahead and says to his players, yes, I need you, we are here to make the Super Bowl, that is our goal. Even if he says that to the media, he goes ahead and says, he doesn't say, I guarantee a Super Bowl, because that's just going to be beyond stupidity. That's just awfully inept on his part with when it comes to the mental capacities, beyond just the X's and O's. If he, being Rex Ryan, goes to the media and says, and of course when he's asked about Super Bowl predictions and all that, and he says, look, our goal here at the beginning of the season is to win the Super Bowl. If he goes ahead and says that to the media, that's perfectly fine. Because every coach goes ahead and says that to the media, pretty much. Is we're here to win the Super Bowl. That is our goal. We don't do it, then we failed. Simple as that.
You're okay with Jets coach saying you play to win the game?
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
I love that. And I also love the way he says it.
All right.
He says it like a song. You play to win the game. He has the notes up just right, hits key in harmony. It's a beautiful thing.
And he's got over 1 million people who've seen that video. I don't think he ever thought that was going to go viral.
Whoa. I didn't realize that. And that's just one version.
Yeah.
There's versions all over this place. I think they made a song.
And yeah, it's all about the same thing anyways. I mean, he's got the point. You do play to win the game. That's the bottom line. Rex Ryan going ahead and follow Herm Edwards' path and telling everybody that, yes, this is how it's going to be done. And for sure, by all means, go ahead and do it.
So you play to win the game, but Rex Ryan shouldn't guarantee a Super Bowl victory is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay. Let's go through more of these quote-unquote projected standings. That Miami finishing last 25-11.
Nothing's really changed in Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to coach there.
AFC North, deep voice Brian's Baltimore Ravens 12-4. The Steelers 10-6. They have both those teams making the postseason. Cincinnati, who made the postseason last year at 9-7, they have them going down to 8-8. I understand that.
Well, the reason with that is because they're basing it being a sophomore slump for the two rookies, both for the quarterback and the star wide receiver AJ Green. However, it would not shock me if Pittsburgh were to miss out on the postseason and Cincinnati to actually make it because of the job that Marvin Lewis has done with the Cincinnati Bengals in the post I don't want to play here era.
Right, that was a great story from last season that Carson Palmer prefers retirement over playing with the Bengals. They lose Chad Ochocinco, played the Super Bowl last night. He caught one pass.
Yeah.
And but Cincinnati goes to the playoffs anyways, 6th seed.
You know, it wouldn't shock me. It would shock me if they brought him back, but it would kind of be interesting to see what happens were the Cincinnati Bengals to bring back T.O. for one season.
What?
Because of all the issues T.O. has been having now in the off season, or rather off the field, in his extended off season, a whole year not playing professional football, it kind of humbled him a little bit from what I've heard, from what I've read, quotes, things like that. And it would be very interesting to see, firstly, what the Cincinnati fan base, how they would react, and also what type of a player in the locker room to the younger receivers T.O. would be. What type of a teammate.
It's an idea.
And I mean, between you and me, the guy's still in pretty damn good shape.
Yeah, he's in excellent shape. And they have Cleveland Richards, Cleveland Browns bottom out the AFC North with a 4-12 record. Go to the AFC South. This is the juiciest part of all these standings. In my opinion, even juicier than the prediction the Giants won't make the postseason. AFC South, Houston, 13-3. They were.
Well, think about what they did this year.
Well, by the way, let me back up.
This is
not the juiciest part. In this division is the juiciest part, but not that the Texans are 13-3.
This is all, of course, based on that nobody gets injured. No key players gets injured because Houston could have very easily have gone 10-3. They were 8-3 at the time when Matt Schaub went down with an injury.
Then Mario Williams goes down.
Exactly. So if you have all these key parts going down with injuries, all of these predictions are to naught. Projections are void.
Now, they have this team, the Houston Texans being the only team in the AFC South over 500. Tennessee 7-9, Jacksonville 4-12, and the Indianapolis Colts 3-13. They're hinting here that Peyton Manning is going bye-bye.
Even if Peyton stays.
They're not going more than 3-13 if Peyton stays.
Well, okay, so let's put it this way. From what we know today, the Indianapolis Colts have cleared the entire front office house, And Peyton Manning is most likely gone because they're not going to pay him $28 million bonus for a possible, very slight possibility and a chance of Peyton playing another down due to all of those neck surgeries.
But Jim Williams said that the $28 million won't really cost him if he ends up not playing because of insurance.
Okay, even so, do you take that chance anyhow with Peyton Manning and the uncertainties to give him that money when he most likely will never play another down? Or so it seems. You have all these different independent doctors who were asked about this, the specialists in this area, in this field, and they all said, look, if Jim Irsay, Colts owner, was to ask me of my opinion, I would tell him, don't do it. Release him.
Who said that?
The various independent doctors who are specialists in this area.
Wow.
Ari Louis.
Wow. All right.
So there you go.
Okay, I'm just saying they're predicting that, though. They're projecting that Peyton Manning's going back. That's, to me, 2013
Yes.
And they'll go back
new
with
coach, new offensive coordinator, new staff.
New quarterback, Andrew Luck.
New quarterback. Yeah.
All right, so they have 313. AFC West, so they think here that Cali Dave's San Diego Chargers are going to bounce back. They had just a disaster.
Yeah,
year.
it's an off year.
You think it's a fluke?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they have them here 12-4. Oakland 10-6, but missing the playoffs. Then Kansas City 6-10, and Denver 5-11. What's going on there? They were 8-8 last year, made the postseason. Tim Tebow this, Tebow that, and
because San Diego is going to be better. It was a fluky year.
Because it was just a fluke year.
And with Denver, they're presuming that, of course, the Broncos are going ahead in the draft and are going to draft players who further only go at. How shall I put this? They complement Tim Tebow. They don't make him better. That's what type of players that they're going to draft come April. The Denver Broncos, because they're guaranteeing Tim Tebow the start. It's his starting job to lose, and they're going to say, we're going to do everything that we can to make the team better for you in your image. And they're presuming that John Elway is not going to be able to do that for Tim Tebow.
Okay. And John Elway might not want to. Keep that in mind, too.
That's because he's just jealous. It's just a jealous of
I think
John
he is
Elway.
Jealous, actually. I'm not joking about that. I seriously think he is jealous.
Well, that's what happens when his star is, kind of taken away from him just a wee bit. Just a little bit.
Of course, if he was
smart... They have to make a new South Park episode all about Tim Tebow.
If he was smart...
And how the boy starts sacrificing kids to Tim Tebow's statue and not to John Elway's statue.
Did you just come up with that idea now, yourself?
What?
You didn't steal that idea? That's a really funny South Park episode idea. I like that.
Well, South Park made an episode of the kids sacrificing other kids to John Elway's statue, so they have to do it a new one.
Okay, fair enough. So you kind of stole the idea, but here, just add on to it. Fair enough.
Addendums are perfectly fine.
If John Elway was smart, he'd realize that he's, was he vice president of the team?
Yeah.
And so it's in his best interest for Tim Tebow to be successful. It's more money for Elway.
Well, it also brings more fans to the stadium. Not like they have a problem with bringing fans to the stadium right now because...
But the ratings, the TV ratings are worth it for the Broncos. Over 40 million people...
Merchandise.
Okay, that too. Tebow's jersey this year was the highest selling jersey.
It's everything, and you have the potential for an international brand with the Broncos with Tim Tebow.
They apparently the game against the Patriots in the postseason, over 40 million people watched, the highest rated non-Super Bowl in football history. And it was one of the highest rated.
And it was one of the worst games. It was the worst endings.
Yeah, they had a bad. To give
it was
you some
a bad,
perspective,
it was a bad day.
Over 40 million
bad
people.
Bad day at the office.
Bad day at the office. Over 40 million people watched that game. The final episode of Seinfeld, that took him 9 years to build up, plus and was one of the highest rated shows ever, had 78 million. So Tebow was his second year, and it produces that.
Tebow had 7 wins to produce half of what took Seinfeld 9 years.
9 years. And if you would even go more, the 40 million people, it's over 3 hours. Although I don't know how much stayed through the whole 3 hours, if you get my drift. The Seinfeld finale was an hour and 15 minutes, I believe.
A lot more attention span time.
Okay. Let's go to according to this from BleachReport.com.
Bleacher Report, not Leech Report.
I said Bleach, actually. I didn't even say Bleach. I said Bleach.
Jesus.
So he plays for the Broncos.
No,
Anyway,
he doesn't.
the teams that play, yes, he does. It was number 15.
Not according to this.
Yeah, apparently. Jesus hopefully can do better than 5-11. So the teams that the BleacherReport.com has going to the postseason: the New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills.
From the AFC.
From the AFC. New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, Houston Texans, and San Diego Chargers. Only two teams different than this year, Buffalo and San Diego. The two teams they have out, of course, the the Broncos and the Bengals.
Yeah.
Those are the two teams they have different this time around.
NFC, here comes a lot of fun.
There's a lot of fun here
The
as well.
Dream Team.
They have the Dream Team somehow bouncing back. They were dismal this year. They have 11-5, winning the NFC East. Why are they thinking that, OCG?
Because this is probably going to be Andy Reid's last hurrah.
They're going to try to win it for him?
The team also, remember, there was a lot of new parts that they got in the offseason. It takes time for players to gel.
Okay.
It just simply takes time. And don't forget, you're also going to have all summer to practice, all your OTBs, all of your training camp. You had none of that this past offseason because, well, quite frankly, there was no offseason.
So why did other teams, you're saying because new additions to Philadelphia was
new
a reason
additions
why.
take time.
And the lockout hurt that team more.
Correct. If you have repetitions, you're able to build trust. You're able to build time. That time, that exact accuracy of how long it'll take from when the receiver starts off the line of scrimmage till he is in that spot where he is meeting the ball. It all takes reps, and they did not have that luxury this offseason because there was no offseason.
Okay. So this time they have time to practice. They don't really need to add anybody, you're saying. They have Asante Samuels. They have the defense, the Dream Team. They have Michael Vick. They have Andy Reid. So you're saying they're fine. I mean, do you agree with this?
I don't agree that they're...
You just understand why they did it.
Yeah, I understand. I don't agree that they're 11-5. Clinching in division, okay. I would say 10-6 with them and the New York Giants, and having Dallas finish again at 8-8 or 9-7, and Philadelphia edging the Giants simply on the head-to-head. That I would see more as having Philadelphia at 11-5, Dallas at 10-6, and the Giants again finishing at 9-7.
Okay, so they have Philadelphia 11-5. Then they have Dallas 10-6. I actually agree of all of these teams in the prediction. I agree with that the most because Dallas was 8-8 this past season, but two times their own coach. Well, one of the times he froze his own kicker, and the other time the kicker missed.
Well, you have to go with that. Remember, coaches' decisions specifically directly affect between 20 and 25% of games over the course of the season. So you have to go with that presumption that he's going to just do something, say something, not switch somebody out, leave somebody in. Jason Garrett's going to do something that will cause either for them to win directly. Something that he does at the end of the game will cause for them to win one or two games or lose one or two games. So that's why I wouldn't shock me if they go 9-7. I won't going to go so far as saying 10-6, but 9-7 seems more legit, especially them because are you going to tell me the Giants are not going to go out and get some pieces this year to improve on 9-7 from last year?
Well, I don't understand this thinking. I mean, that's the one problem. That's the biggest problem I have with this whole thing. The Giants not making the playoffs at all. They have the same record.
I don't disagree. Perhaps with the Giants not making the playoffs, but I would agree that they have a better record. They just miss out with all of the various head-to-head combos and things like that. Looking up from the outside in, kind of like the Patriots with an 11-5 record and not making the playoff.
And then they have Andy Gershman's Washington Redskins bottoming out the division at 5-11.
They give them 5 wins. Wow, that's pretty generous.
Yeah, they're a nice group of people there. Okay, go to the NFC North. They have Green Bay. Now, they don't really indicate who would be the number one seed because they have another team on this list, 13-3. But they have Green Bay 13-3, winning the NFC North. That sounds about right because they were 15-1 last year.
The only way you get better than that is by going undefeated.
Right. So they did everything correctly pretty much in the regular season, but they stubbed their toe against the Giants. I mean, the Giants outplayed them, but I don't know if they played the Giants. I feel 10 times they probably win 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Somewhere on there?
Probably 8.
So it wasn't like they need to add any players or pieces or do anything. That it's just they had a
They
bad
have
game.
to catch a football.
Yeah, maybe
That's
buy
what
some
they
glue.
have to do. They have
Maybe
to catch
get
a football.
some-
Go to like the Little Giants movie and start learning how to catch footballs all over again. Go back to basics.
Maybe put some glue on their mitts, something to that effect. Okay, then they have Detroit, 12-4. I like that a lot because Matthew Stafford's a great quarterback, and Calvin Johnson's a great receiver.
5,000 yards plus for Stafford. Calvin Johnson's a beast, and so is Ndamukong Suh when he doesn't stomp on the opposition.
Chicago, they have 7-9. I think 7 wins a little high, really, for the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears are very yesterday, but they're presuming that they're going to have their quarterback returning healthy and ready to go.
And they did make a run at the postseason and then ran out of gas last year. So maybe they're thinking that's why the 7-9, a little bit generous there. And Minnesota, even with Adrian Peterson, it will probably number 1 pick in all those fantasy drafts out there, 4-12 for the Vikings.
But he's the reason why they get 4 wins.
He's worth 4 wins himself.
Yeah.
They don't really have anything else there. Time to say goodbye to Donovan McNabb.
I thought they did already.
Well,
no. Adrian Peterson is worth probably 3 wins, and Christian Ponder himself is worth probably another win and a half. I'll give him 5 wins.
okay. And let's go to the NFC South. New Orleans, the other 13-win team on these projections of the NFC. That sounds about right. They keep all their pieces. They have Drew Brees, who broke the record last year, and they have their parts kind of intact for the offense, so that does sound about right. I still feel like Green Bay's a better team than New Orleans.
Well, the Saints are going to come marching in, and they go ahead and get the Rams coach from this past season, who is a defensive stalwart type coach when he was with the Giants as their defensive coordinator, and he's going to make the Saints that much better.
They then have Atlanta 8-8, missing the playoffs. Even with Matty Ice, they made the postseason last year.
Yeah, so what?
So you don't think they're going
They
back?
didn't score a bloody point against the Giants. The Giants gave them 2 points.
Okay, but the Giants won the Super Bowl this year.
They're not as good as their record was this past year. 8-8, 9-7 sounds about right. They're not that good of a team. They're missing key parts. They're missing offensive linemen who can block for Matty Ice so he can throw the football, and they're missing 1 or 2 linebackers who can be beasts in the middle of the field. Until they get that, they spent too much to get a wide receiver in this past offseason and in the draft to trade up for him. And then once they went ahead and got that wide receiver that they really, 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 really wanted, then they realized, oh, crap, we have other holes that we need to fill.
Okay, but last season they made the postseason. They lose to the Super Bowl champions. The year before that, they were the number 1 seed.
And they also lost in the first game.
They played to the Packers, who went to the Super Bowl and won it.
But in the same position that the Giants were at this year were the Packers last season. What's your point?
My point is that
if you're a good team, if you're the number 1 team, if you win 13 times in the regular season, you should be able to win that first game.
My point is they might not be good in the postseason, but they're good in the regular season.
That doesn't mean that. You know what that means? It means bollocks.
They should pick them.
It means nothing. If you are good in the regular season, but you cannot do anything in the postseason, it means absolute nothing.
What it means is
it's the best word I can come up with.
Right, you're like, pause. Can I think of something else? It means
the first thing that comes to my mind is not something I should repeat
say
on
on
air.
this family show. But they should be projected to go to the playoffs. And predicted if you want as well.
This is
not do
good.
well in it.
This is fine. I totally agree with this.
I think they're getting disrespected here. I
think that they are getting called for what they are.
For losing the postseason.
No, they're getting called for a team that is not as good as their records of the past couple of years actually show. There are a lot of gaping holes.
When I make my predictions of who is going to the postseason or the NFL, I got to think I might not pick Atlanta to go in. But if I do, I probably predict them to lose in the playoffs. But I don't know. I feel like it's a little weird. All right, Carolina 6-10 with Cam Newton. They see a little bit of a bump. I think that's about right, 6-10.
Yeah, it'll take time. But Carolina is definitely going to be a team to be reckoned with.
And Tampa Bay 3-13.
Tampa Bay is a wreck.
Yeah, the 3 might be a little generous.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Tampa Bay could get the number 1 pick in the draft next year.
Yeah, and they would do very well to draft a quarterback, not named Josh Freeman, because Josh Freeman is only good for 1 year, and that already happened. Came and went.
Yeah. All right, NFC West, they don't think San Francisco is a fluke, and why would they outspend
That is a beast of a team.
It's a beast of a team.
Gosh.
You saw the defense.
That is
handle
a
the Saints.
team that really you can enjoy watching because it harkens back to the days of the Leatherheads, man, right? In the late 20s, early 30s, when the NFL as a professional league, because remember, the biggest thing in the States when it came to football was college football. That's what garnered 40, 50,000 fans watching.
Sure.
Professional football was awful. I mean, it was a game where the players could barely get a crowd, could barely get 100, 200 people at their game. And then it became, professional as opposed to, professional as what we think of professional. It was professionally run, professional organizations as opposed to just a couple guys, just post-college playing professional, organized, professionally unorganized football. This was a team this past year that showed everybody that we can play with defense and we have a good offense. I mean, they've tied and the team. It's a good team.
College football's tradition extends over 100 years. That's why they still get better attendance at games than the pros.
Well, that's only because you have 32 teams in professional football and God knows how many teams in the college ranks.
That should be more people should go to NFL games or less NFL games to watch.
No, because you have more of a connection to your local team than you have to the team from the state. Not even every state has teams. There's only 32 teams. There's 50 states.
Okay, but if you live in New York and you have a choice to see the professional
If you live in New York, the team you should be rooting for is the Buffalo Bills.
Because the other two teams play in Jersey.
Exactly. There's nothing more to New York for the Jets and Giants beyond their helmets.
I kind of hear where you're about to go with this, or I'm going to put the worst
Okay, you're from Connecticut. Who do you go for? You're not in the New England states, and you're in the tri-state area. I mean, who are you going to go for?
If you're in New York City, do you root for Syracuse over the... I mean, not over the Giants, but would you rather go to a Syracuse-Orangeman game than the Giants? You know what I'm saying?
It's two different football
What college football would you see in New York?
See Rutgers.
Okay,
Watching
Rutgers.
the Rutgers jersey. You'd go see Hofstra.
So you're going to see Hofstra, you're going to see the Bills. You see the Bills, professional team.
Why the hell would I
You
go
would
see the
think,
Bills?
but Hofstra probably outdraws the Bills.
Okay, so let me ask you this: who are you going to go watch if you're in Idaho? They don't have a football team; they have Boise State.
Okay, then
That's
you see Boise State.
Okay,
I'm talking about the teams.
I'm sure there are more people in Texas who will sooner go to a University of Texas game or Texas A&M game than go to Dallas or Houston.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. It's not related to states that don't have professional teams. Because even in the states that have professional teams, college football outdraws them anyway. Why? Tradition. They've been around longer than the NFL. That's why.
I'm sorry, the Giants and Jets draw more than Rutgers does.
Okay, but that's because Rutgers really sucks.
Excuse you.
How many? They don't win titles. The Giants are a title-winning team. They have 2 Super Bowls.
Okay, how do you know how many people have come out of the Rutgers program in the last 4 or 5 years who've gone on to NFL teams who are actually good?
Not many Miami or SEC teams.
I'm talking about one college. I'm not talking about a conference. I'm talking about one college, Rutgers University. That it's not in one of these big power conferences and whatever and all that other jazz that goes along with it. One college. North of a dozen players in the last 4 or 5 years that have come out who are playing for the New England Patriots and are doing good jobs, who are playing for the Baltimore Ravens who are doing fantastic jobs. You know who the best player to come out of Rutgers University in the last 4 or 5 years has been?
Who?
Ray Rice.
Not bad. Okay.
Okay?
This is the exception that is against the rule, if you will.
No, Greg Schiano is doing a really fantastic job there.
So the Giants outdraw Rutgers.
Okay.
Who goes to which gets a bigger attendance? Ohio State when they play Michigan or the Lions? Detroit Lions.
Ever.
Well,
that's because...
Or excuse me, not Detroit, Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns. Let's say Indians. Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Both in Ohio. Let's say you're in Ohio.
Ohio State,
you can say
for
Detroit
sure.
Lions, Michigan. You know what you're
Ohio State's going to get more, but there's more of a connection on the local level when it comes to this. There's more of a connection felt for the college team because you have the alma mater. How many people who are going to these games were playing for that professional football team? Not that many.
Right.
Maybe a fraction of a percent, but how many of those people who are going to that college football team went to that college? A heck of a lot more.
But see.
Not to mention that tickets are just that more reasonable.
But Ohio State, Michigan, even though it's two teams that are comprised of a bunch of kids, most of them will not make the pros, will get 110, 15,000 to come.
That's because you could fill them all up in that stadium.
But it's more than that.
If you had NFL stadiums that were that big, you could fill them up too.
You think 110,000 people would see a Lions game?
Yes, especially now.
At
the end of the day, there's only 8 home games. So no matter how bad the team is doing, you can find tickets. And no matter how bad the team is doing, you will be able to fill up the stadium because of those cheap tickets. Okay, and because you will bring the family of 4 or family of 6 and you'll go and you'll buy, because what you're not spending on ticket face value, you'll go ahead and spend for food, for beverages, for concessions, merchandise, whatever else.
Okay,
it's a good family day out.
What would you prefer more, basically? Would you prefer a Week 8 game of the Lions playing whoever, or Michigan, Ohio State?
Who are they playing?
Let's say they're playing an average NFL team.
Who?
Not Tampa Bay's an average. The Raiders. Lions Raiders. Versus Michigan, Ohio State? Come on.
I'll go to Michigan, Ohio State, because that only happens once a year, and I'll get to the Lions next week.
But it's not just it's once a year. It's once a year for the last 100 years.
Okay, but it's once a year. If I don't go tomorrow, let's say,
you gotta wait a year.
I have to wait till next year. If I don't go this week to the Lions, I'll go next week. I'll go the next time they're at home.
Regional teams,
Big deal.
The Lions only play regional teams once every 4 years.
I said I'll go to the Lions game next week. I'll go to the next rivalry.
You can see him play another team. That's what I'm just trying to say. There's more tradition there. It makes no sense. There are fewer NFL teams. There are fewer NFL games. There are professionals that play, not amateurs. College football shouldn't even compete with the NFL, but they do because of tradition. I don't know how we got
NPR.
I don't know how we got this topic. Anyway, we ended with Tampa Bay. So San Francisco we have 11-5, Seattle 6-10.
Okay.
My Cardinals 5-11. Now I have a problem with that. What a shocker! But they won in overtime. I think it was 4 out of the last 5 games.
I would give them. Look, they
lost 4 games by 7 points or less.
Right, they caught the bullet far too many times on the losing side this year. I would say that's not. I would give them 8-8.
I was going to say 8-8. They're at least 8-8, and I'm upset at bleach. I'm going to call it bleach for that because of that.
They're bleaching. They're bleaching them out to just the all whites.
Yeah. That's a bunch of garbage right there. So the Bleacher report is pissing me off. The Cardinals should be projected as 8-8. I don't know if they'll get there.
To be pissed on.
They still could. Dave Chappelle, when he was 19 years old, made that joke in Robin Hood Men with Tights. The Cardinals could end up 5-11. Okay, but I'm saying projection, they should be 8-8. Even though the Cardinals, they screw things up.
Okay,
they got to fire Kevin Cobb or trade him or cut him or do whatever. And you got to get.
It's too bad there's no minor league system in the NFL that you could just send contracts down and then they don't count up against the cap like the Rangers did a couple of years ago. The New York Rangers, that
is. They did that to get away from the cap?
What they did was they had to eat this contract from Wade Redden. It was like $6 million a year for like another 4 or 5 years. So they just sent him down to the minors because he had that clause that if he didn't play at the professional level, then it doesn't count against the cap. So boom, there you go. And if they did that, then maybe they might be interested in a Peyton Manning. Oh, what?
See, because Major League Baseball does that, hockey does that, and
basketball has a D-League.
Has a D-League, and the NFL, close to they have released NFL Europe.
Well, they used to have.
Yeah.
NFL Europe.
All right, so
now they have. I wonder, just go back to college.
Who's the third string quarterback for the Cardinals that has a skeleton, whatever. Skeleton. They got to get that kid back in and have him kick some ass, and then they can get at least 8-8. And of course, that probably won't be enough to get the postseason. Maybe a wild card, but not going to win the division. And then they have the Rams 5-11. I guess that's okay, but Bradford's a good quarterback.
But he can't stay healthy.
True. Okay.
Until he proves he can stay healthy, and he's already has multiple shoulder surgeries, and until he proves that he can stay healthy and in the game for 14 or 15 or even a whole season, then guess what? This is as far as the Rams are going to go. Rams can only go as far as their quarterback will take them, Sam Bradford, and if he's not going to be able to take them that far, then guess what? Because he's injured, that's the 5 wins. Yes, that sounds about right.
Okay, now here are the postseason teams, the teams projected to go to the postseason. Of according to the
From the
Bleacher Report.
NFC.
From the NFC, 2 new changes, just like they had with the AFC. They have Philadelphia, Dallas, Green Bay, Detroit, New Orleans, and San Francisco. So the 2 new teams, Dallas and Philadelphia, both from the NFC East. The 2 teams out. The Giants, they're out of the picture.
And the Falcons.
And the Falcons.
What are we going to say about that?
I think the trends, the Giants go back to the postseason.
I would have the Giants as opposed to the Cowboys. Otherwise, I'm fine with that. Philadelphia, New York Giants, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, New Orleans Saints, and the San Francisco 49ers. That makes about right.
The NFC is so jam-packed because I look at the season. I feel like the Giants should be in. I was thinking, what team would I take out? I feel like Dallas is going in. I almost would take out Philadelphia. I don't know. I have to think about that. But you see, the NFC from top to bottom, much more jam-packed than the AFC. AFC, very top-heavy conference. Okay, OCG. Now, do you want to make an unofficial Super Bowl 47 prediction already?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, and then we'll say who the Bleacher Report has as their 2 teams in the Super Bowl. But go ahead, give us your prediction.
I'm going to have to go with the New Orleans Saints representing the NFC because right now they are the front row favorite for it because they have a new defensive coordinator who knows defense, and he's won Super Bowl with defense. And, of course, well, they have probably the best passer in the game right now in Drew Brees. And they've got the wide receiving core. They've got that option. They do have to figure out a way of getting their rushing attack going again, but for the most part, it's enough to move the chains. It's enough that they could give the various runners that they have, rushers that they have, the ball on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, and have enough faith in them that they can move the chains, get the first down, and keep going. I have the New Orleans Saints in representing the NFC. The AFC, I'm going, it's going to be interesting because you have an oldie but a goodie in Baltimore. The question is how many people are still going to return.
Come back, right. Ray Lewis coming back.
Well, Ray Lewis is probably going to come back. Ed Reed probably not, but nothing is certain whenever it comes to either of them. And in the AFC, the question is what's the fallout going to be like for the Patriots from this failed Super Bowl victory? So with that, I'm going to have to go with the Houston Texans because they have the most upside and potential to them. A young, hungry team. They just made it to the postseason the first time in the franchise history this past season. They know what it's like. They tasted it, and they love it. They want more of it. It's like drugs.
I think I like your Texans pick. I'll make my unofficial pick right now. I'm going to get when things get closer to the season. I'll make my official pick because some movements can happen in the offseason, injuries and so on. I feel like the Texans, there's kind of a pattern in the NFL of kind of you go kind of you're in the 6-win bracket and then the 9-win bracket and then 13 and you go to
increments,
yeah. So I like the Texans out of the AFC. Out of the NFC, I'm actually going to pick the 49ers because they're 2 Kyle Williams non-drops away from going to the Super Bowl anyways. And I think in that Super Bowl, it's not the sexiest names. Just the 49ers were relevant in the 90s, but haven't been for a while. Texans don't have much of a history. They've only been around about 10, 11 years. So it's not the sexiest thing we've seen. I don't think it'll be so highly rated, but it'll be 2 pretty good quarterbacks, Schaub versus Alex Smith, and good defense versus Mario Williams, who could be one of the better defenders in the NFL.
A good defense versus a better defense.
Yeah. So I think it would be a good game. Okay, the Bleacher Report, sound effect please. And the 2 teams they have going to Super Bowl 47, they have the Texans versus the Packers. So they think the Packers will rebound from their loss against the Giants.
Well, it's the Packers' title to lose.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Even though you didn't pick
Yes,
them.
because look at what they have for a team. In the defensive side of the football, they're kind of like the Patriots. They give a lot between the 20s, but when it comes down to the red zone, they generally give less than they give more. They don't give up a lot of points. They were number 1 in takeaways in the NFL this season. So on the offensive side, I mean, what are you going to say? They just have to catch the football. When they catch the football, if they don't average, here's the scary thing with them: they average 6 drop passes a game, yet they put up all those numbers. How scary is that?
They average 6 drop passes even with the 15-1 mark.
Yes.
Wow. It just came to bite them against the Giants.
And the 2 losses, and also against the Chiefs, it also came to bite them because they dropped all those passes as well, close to 9 or 10, I believe, in that game. And the Giants, they had 8. Against against the Giants, they had 8, but I counted 11.
So that's frustrating. That's going to be frustrating for a Green Bay Packers fan like yourself because it's not something you can necessarily pick up in the offseason or, I don't know.
Oh, no, you can.
So you think they need to go out and get somebody?
No. It's not something that you can pick up. It's a trait. It's a skill that you can teach in the offseason. You run with drills. Guess what? For every time you drive a pass, you're going to do a lap. And you know what? It gets to a point where mentally you are so focused on the football that you will take less yards after the catch.
Just so you have to run that lap.
No. You will give up less. You will allow yourself to collect more, or rather, less yards after the catch, as a trade-off for actually catching the football.
Which is all the Packers needed to do.
Yeah, you catch the football. Here's the thing: when in the NFL, 94% of the plays, say on third down, are designed that if it's a 3rd and 5 play, you are running a 6-yard route. So even if you get tackled right away, you still have the first down. It is rare where a play is designed on 3rd and 5 to only go 2 or 3 yards, and it's presuming that you're going to break a tackle. It's presuming that you're going to have yards after the catch. Very rare does that happen from the get-go. Sometimes that's just how it ends up being because somebody on the defensive side of the football misses an assignment or whatnot. But for the most part, you are running a route, or at least you're supposed to run the route, that will pick up the first down even if you catch the football and get tackled right there on that spot.
All right, so
catch
as a Packers
the
fan,
football. That is what they are going to have to be taught by the Packer coaching staff. It's going to have to be drilled into their head. Look at Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Take, for example, okay? Ben Jarvis Green Ellis was an average at best running back before he came to college, before he transferred, and before he ended up in Texas, I believe it was, where he then went to finish off his career there and was eventually drafted by the Patriots. His coach in high school, who then followed him to college and they kind of followed each other, told him, instilled in his mind that fumbling of the football is a mental thing. If you allow yourself to fumble the football, then you'll fumble it. If you make sure that you will not fumble the football, guess what? You're not going to fumble it. Because no matter how hard the defensive players are going to try to punch the ball out, rip it out from you, punch your forearm to cause for an automatic release of the football, no matter how hard they're going to try, you're going to hold on to it because you are not giving that football up for nothing.
Sure.
So here's the same thing. Keep your eye on the football. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I got it. Not it's going. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, where am I going to run now? Oh, crap. I don't have the football. Oh, well, we'll start again. No. You keep your eye on the football, and I will not be surprised if that's what a lot of their offensive off-season training camp is going to be, preaching to catch the football first and then run after the catch. That's why it's called yardage after reception. Running after you catch the ball.
Yak, baby, is what it's called.
Not running after you think you could catch the ball.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay, so before we go to break, you're a Packers fan. You say it's a Packers title to lose, but you're not picking the Packers to go to the Super Bowl.
Because the Saints, at this point in time, they have, offense to offense, I'll give the edge to the Packers. I'll give them the slight edge. But on the defense side of the ball, with the addition that the Saints went out and got, I'm giving the big advantage to the Saints.
Okay. So you're saying the Packers need to make a move in the offseason?
Right now, this is my pick. Because I can only deal with what is in
But
front
that's
of
your
me.
way to say it. If the general manager is, and he's probably listening to this program, if you give advice to him, he would say go out and get somebody from the defensive end. Teach the receivers how to catch the ball.
Indeed.
Do this hardcore.
You don't
drill.
necessarily have to get a new defensive coordinator, but you might want to get somebody, maybe somebody who could, I don't know, an advisor of sorts to help. Maybe an assistant defensive coordinator. Specialty job. Not that the linebackers coach also doubles as the assistant defensive coordinator. No. Get an assistant defensive coordinator. Period.
Doesn't that kind of hurt the ego of the defensive coordinator for the Packers?
Well, guess what? That's what's going to happen. Here's the thing. You're only going to have a certain number of games where you can rely on the fact that Aaron Rodgers, who's from another planet, is going to propel your team to victory. Sometimes, once in a while, and that, for example, happened twice this year for the Packers, once against the Kansas City Chiefs and once against the New York Giants in the postseason, where offense is not enough. You actually have to come up with a defensive stop or 2 or 3 in order for Aaron Rodgers, who is not from this planet, to be able to propel your team to victory.
Al Michaels did a great job in the broadcast last night with Chris Collinsworth, and it was funny. We both kind of giggled when he said we refer to Aaron Rodgers as the MVP.
Yes.
Which has not officially come out, but it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Of course, Pete Shepard thinks...
And that would actually be one of the rare occasions where the front runner for the MVP before the season starts actually runs through as the front runner all the way, pole to pole, finish to finish, and ends up becoming the MVP after the season.
Yeah, it's only happened a few times, I think.
Rare does that happen.
It might have happened one year with Peyton Manning. He might have been projected. But, yes, it is a rare feat indeed. Okay, so we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll have a final segment after this. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Ari Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1, Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1, Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel,
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
The last segment here on Louis Live, and what I want to talk about right now is
Steve Spagnuolo, who is was the defensive coordinator for the Giants, then went to the Rams as the head coach, and now is hired by the New Orleans Saints as their defensive coordinator?
No, didn't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is there are a lot of great stories that happened. Super Bowl could have been better stories, I think. If
Eli Manning winning in Peyton's house?
No. Had Mr. Kraft won for his wife, that would have been the best story of far.
Giselle.
Second place.
Giselle not divorcing Tom Brady?
Gisele's they'll divorce at some point. That's the Hollywood marriage in a nutshell. But what it is, basically, a member of the Giants, he tweeted this a few weeks ago. Last week, he said, I just got off a plane 2 years ago. I was told I wasn't going to be able to walk, right?
He said, 2 years ago I wasn't going to be able to walk, and I just walked off the plane on my way to the Super Bowl, playing in the Super Bowl in Indianapolis. Take that.
Did he have an S word or something that lived out?
Take that. Snap.
I love that. I just can't get enough of that. I think that's great stuff. He had cancer. He's told they were going to
Mark Herzlich.
Mike Herzlich, who
rookie linebacker, had it
for the Giants.
Yeah, recovery cancer survivor.
Imagine that. Like, he's told by the quote unquote experts, these brilliant doctors, and went to all these prestigious universities, that he wasn't going to walk. And instead of accepting that and buying a wheelchair and going in that direction, he did what's called, he was told that his cancer was incurable, so he went within and cured it within. That's what incurable
He basically gave the
Middle finger to the cancer.
Yeah, and said, screw off. I don't have time for you.
Right, and he did, and he's a Super Bowl champion. But despite the fact that whether champion or not champion, had he not won the game, he'd be a champion.
The fact that he is doing what he's doing, loving what he's doing, still doing it, that makes him a champion automatically.
And those are stories I like to see in professional sports. I mean, that is just an amazing story. And Teddy Bruschi, former Patriot, was there in the pregame talking about his analysis of the game. And people forget Teddy Bruschi had a stroke.
Yeah.
And came back later
10 months later
to play.
10.5 months later, yeah.
So the will of these athletes, all these athletes are very talented and they can run fast and jump high and they're built strong. And
let's not forget the Minister of Defense.
Reggie White.
Yeah, he had a fractured leg, and 6 days later he's back on the field playing, and there was no fracture to be seen.
That's a little freaky.
Yeah.
That's a little freaky.
Just saying.
So what I like about seeing these guys is you see the sheer will. That's what I like about sports. Because
passion.
All
desire.
The time. You see the guy that's not as big or strong.
And they're not just cliches.
Yeah, and it really happens. But you see all the times the guys that shouldn't win do win because they have an extra special will or spirit, something that drives them. So
the intangibles, the X factor.
Yeah. And it was great to see from
nothing
Mark.
To do with their voice.
Right. It's great to see from Mark that he was able to use that in his personal life, and then now he's done that in his professional life and become world champion.
But also to draw out all the positives and to give hope for those who unfortunately find themselves in similar situations, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You have to find that light. It's up to you.
Absolutely. Amen, brother. All right, that's going to conclude our first Louis Live episode in the new Emmett Griffine Studios.
Yes, we should make sure that next time we start off that way.
We did, according to the edit. So we thank everyone for
Thanks, Jimmy the intern.
Yes, thanks, Jimmy the intern. We thank everyone who listened to tune in tonight to the first Louis Live episode in the Emmett Griffine Studios. Stay tuned next for Goldstein on Gelt. But that's it for tonight. God bless and good night.